Somaliland is a self-declared state located in the Horn of Africa, along the southern coast of the Gulf of Aden. It sits directly opposite Yemen, and just a short distance from the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, one of the world's most critical maritime choke points connecting the Red Sea to the Indian Ocean. Somaliland declared independence from Somalia in 1991 after the collapse of the Somali central government. Since then, it has functioned as a de facto independent entity with its own government, constitution, elections, security forces, and currency. While Somalia continues to claim Somaliland as part of its sovereign territory, Somaliland has remained politically stable compared to much of southern Somalia, which has struggled with prolonged conflict, insurgency, and weak governance. Despite this stability, Somaliland has historically lacked formal international recognition, limiting its diplomatic and economic opportunities. To understand why Israel's recognition of Somaliland matters, it is important to look at Israel's broader engagement in the Horn of Africa and the Red Sea region. Israel is a trading nation whose economy depends heavily on secure maritime routes, particularly those passing through the Red Sea and onward to the Indian Ocean. Disruptions along these routes, whether from piracy, militant attacks, or regional conflict, pose direct risks to Israeli trade and energy supplies. As a result, Israel has long viewed the Horn of Africa as strategically significant, even if that engagement has often remained quiet and understated. Over the years, Israel has built strong partnerships with countries such as Kenya and Ethiopia, combining diplomacy, development assistance, and security cooperation. In Kenya, Israel has played a role in counterterrorism cooperation, intelligence sharing, and security training, particularly after major attacks linked to al-Qaeda and al-Shabaab. These partnerships have focused on improving intelligence capabilities, airport and border security, and rapid response to terrorist threats. In Ethiopia, Israel has contributed to agricultural development, water management, and technological innovation, while also maintaining security and intelligence ties. These relationships reflect Israel's broader strategy of strengthening regional allies to counter extremist networks and promote stability along key trade corridors. Against this backdrop, Israel's recognition of Somaliland provides several long-term strategic benefits. One of the most important is strategic depth in the Red Sea, Gulf of Aden corridor. Somaliland's location near the Bab el-Mandeb Strait gives Israel proximity to a maritime choke point through which a significant portion of global trade passes. Establishing formal diplomatic relations allows Israel to expand its situational awareness in this region, helping it monitor shipping lanes and assess potential threats to maritime security. In a region increasingly affected by missile attacks, drone warfare, and naval disruptions, this geographic advantage significantly enhances Israel's ability to protect its economic and security interests. Recognition also creates intelligence and security advantages. Somaliland borders areas affected by al-Shabaab activity, smuggling networks, and arms trafficking routes that stretch across East Africa and toward the Arabian Peninsula. Formal relations enable deeper intelligence cooperation, early warning capabilities, and information sharing on extremist movements and illicit trade. For Israel, this contributes to a broader counterterrorism strategy that extends beyond its immediate neighborhood. It allows Israeli planners to better understand and anticipate threats emerging from Africa and Yemen, rather than reacting to them after they materialize. More critically, Israel's recognition of Somaliland also strengthens its ability to counter Houthi forces in Yemen and limit Iran's influence across the Red Sea region. Somaliland's proximity to Yemen and the Bab el-Mandeb Strait provides Israel with valuable strategic depth and situational awareness near areas where Iranian-backed Houthi forces operate. From this position, Israel can improve monitoring of missile launches, drone activity, and maritime threats targeting commercial shipping and regional infrastructure. Enhanced intelligence cooperation and surveillance capabilities in the Gulf of Aden allow Israel to better track weapons smuggling routes and Iranian logistical support flowing to Houthi forces. Over time, this reduces Iran's ability to project power across the Red Sea, disrupt global trade, or threaten Israeli and allied interests. By anchoring itself diplomatically and strategically in Somaliland, Israel strengthens a regional counterweight to Iran's expanding influence and reinforces deterrence against hostile actors operating from Yemen and the wider Horn of Africa. Diplomatically, recognizing Somaliland gives Israel leverage beyond the Middle East. It signals that Israel can act independently in global affairs and build partnerships outside traditional diplomatic frameworks dominated by larger powers. Somaliland, having waited decades for recognition, is likely to view Israel as a key long-term partner, creating durable political goodwill. This relationship may translate into diplomatic support in international forums over time and help Israel strengthen its presence across Africa. More broadly, the move demonstrates Israel's intent to diversify its alliances and expand its influence southward toward Africa and the Indian Ocean. There are also clear economic, technological, and defense benefits. Somaliland is expected to rely heavily on external partners for development, security, and infrastructure. Israel is well positioned to provide expertise in agriculture, water management, cybersecurity, border surveillance, and defense technology, areas where it has a strong global reputation. For Israel, this opens new markets for exports and long-term economic engagement with relatively limited competition from major global powers. These partnerships follow a model Israel has successfully used elsewhere, where technology and security cooperation reinforce diplomatic ties. Finally, the decision carries strategic messaging and deterrence value. By recognizing Somaliland, Israel sends a message to allies that it rewards stability and cooperation, and is willing to invest in long-term partnerships. To adversaries, it signals that Israel is expanding its strategic reach and is not confined to a narrow regional posture. The move reinforces the perception of Israel as a globally engaged actor with interests and influence extending into Africa and the Indian Ocean. In geopolitics, perception often shapes reality, and this decision strengthens Israel's image as a state capable of shaping outcomes beyond its immediate borders. Taken together, Israel's recognition of Somaliland is not merely symbolic. It reflects a calculated strategy aimed at enhancing maritime security, expanding intelligence capabilities, strengthening diplomatic leverage, and opening new economic and defense opportunities. Over time, these benefits could significantly reinforce Israel's long-term security and geopolitical position in one of the world's most strategically important regions.